April 15th marks the 100th anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. Elizabeth Nye, a young Salvation Army officer, was one of the more than 2,400 passengers who set out on the fateful voyage. Here is her story.
When Elizabeth was a teenager, for reasons unknown, she and friends posed for a photo which seems quite chilling in hindsight, because a decade after this, she was cast adrift in a real lifeboat. The year was 1912, she was 29 and was leaving Folkestone and family behind. A loyal and reliable worker, the Army had asked her to help with its expansion into New York, so she found herself on the world's largest ocean liner. When disaster struck, she was among the last people to scramble onto a boat.
She set out her goal to try and help those that were less fortunate than her, and the fact that she'd been saved, she thought that that was a blessing from God. So she's very much an inspiration to lots of people around here, 100 years on.
Today we remember all of those who lost their lives in this tragedy 100 years ago. April is National Alcohol Awareness Month, recognizing the destructive nature of substance abuse. The Salvation Army has operated recovery programs since its inception in 1865. In fact, more than 350,000 individuals are successfully treated in these centers each year.
16, 17 years in my marriage, I strayed from my marriage and had an affair. I started drinking a lot more and discovered drugs. I started spiraling worse and worse out of control. Talking about things I never thought I would do. I mean, using around my kids, drinking around my kids, and lying to my children and to my family. There was a man I met at one of the treatment centers who said, when you're ready, when this point comes in your life where you have no place else to turn, call me, and I'll take you where I sobered up and my life changed, which was the Salvation Army. And one night at a hotel, I had the wrong people banging on the door, wanting money I didn't have. Family was not returning calls, friends weren't returning calls, and I was scared. Didn't know what else to do, so I called him up, and he brought me down to Salvation Army. So it's the longest walk you'll ever make, but I promise you, I did this 10 years ago, and you can too.
More than 79,000 people die from alcohol abuse each year. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, please visit satruck.org or call your local Salvation Army. Salvation Army crews are still serving survivors of tornadoes which ripped through Texas earlier this month. In addition to food, water, and clothing, staff and volunteers are providing financial assistance to the hundreds of families who lost their homes. For more, please visit the Salvation Army's National EDS site. If you would like to contribute to our broadcast, please email Salvation Army today at satoday@uss.salvationarmy.org. In closing, we turn to Philippians. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true, honorable, and right, and pure, and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all that you learned and received from me, everything you heard from me and saw me doing. Then the God of peace will be with you. Be sure to tune in next week for Salvation Army news from around the world. For Salvation Army Today, I'm Roberta Simmons-Smith. Good day, and God bless you.